Welcome back to my channel. This painting demonstration I just wanted to share with you is a quick, simple idea. I had a few sort of ideas in my head of what I wanted to share, and I think the main focus of this demonstration will be the sky. So I started off by wetting the majority of the paper, just going over using quite a lot of water, and then you can see this colour here. I've mixed just a bit of lemon yellow with yellow ochre, and now I want the dark of the sky just to go over the top. And you can see the way the pigments running down the paper. I've got the paper at about 35-degree angle, so it's letting all that the gravity pull the pigment down into that yellow. The reason why I put yellow down, just to get some light and some warmth into the scene. I'm only using probably 3 colours in this painting. You can see I've the sky is mostly a Payne's grey, and then I'm just touching a little bit of French ultramarine into the sky, just to give a little bit of interest, a little bit of colour. So you can see the pigment, the way the pigment's coming down. It's granulating, it's mixing with the other colours, and that's an effect I wanted to show you on this video. So I'm not being careful, just covering the white of the paper. And it's okay if you do want some of the white to show. That can be some of the highlight in the clouds or anything like that, so you can actually leave a white, little bits of white popping through here and there. And now I'm just taking out some cloud formations, and I'm just rinsing my brush out, squeezing the excess water out of the brush, and just going along, soaking up some of that grey, some of that blue tone, and that's giving me a light, sort of fluffy cloud effect. And I will this is just a soft sort of a really subtle approach to clouds, but I will use some tissue just to get more of a cleaner, more of the pigment off, give a sharper sort of cloud as well. And you'll see I'll do that in a few minutes. I'm just taking some more over on the left hand side just to balance the scene out a little bit. You can see it's a really simple little painting. Again, it's 10x7 artist block, and the paper is actually Arches watercolour paper. And you can see the crisp, sharp sort of marks I'm getting from using the blotting it with the tissue, and that gives a sharper edge to the clouds. So I'm just going in and softening that hard edge slightly, just to blend a little bit. And that's something I wanted to achieve, is a dramatic sort of sky, and that yellow will be a bit of warmth, maybe a bit of sun. This could be a late evening sort of scene with a bit of stormy skies, a bit of thunder on the horizon, a bit of dramatic skies going on. So I'm just running along the bottom edge of the paint, just getting out the excess paint that I don't need to use, just to give the horizon line. So you can see it's very simple. I'm not going into too much detail or not having anything. I just wanted to do something quite simple, nice and easy. I didn't have much time to do much of a painting, so I just thought I'd do this quick demo for you to see, and it really doesn't have to take that long. You can see you can use any angle. I've tilted my paper onto the side, and so that'll make the pigment run sideways, and that's often a nice effect that I like to do in the skies. Rather than the pigment coming straight down, I like to give it a little angle so the water flows to the side, to the right hand side, just to get that colour mixing together and flowing, and it's quite a nice thing to do. So you can tip your paper either way. You can even do upside down to move the pigment up the paper, or you can have it on the side like I'm doing here. So just going along and softening some more edges. I don't want too many hard edges, so just going in and just using clean water and taking some water out in places, just to take bits of pigment off the paper. If you are new to this channel, if you're seeing this video perhaps for the first time, you like what you see, then please do subscribe. I would appreciate a subscribe. If you like the video, then click like, and you can hit the notification bell. I do post videos each week. Sometimes I like to do 2 videos, so don't forget to go ahead and subscribe. Like I said, I like to keep things simple. There was quite a long time when I used to like to do tight, sort of realistic paintings, but I think over time I've learned how to paint more of a loose style, which I think is much more, especially in watercolour, it's much more appealing. You get much more freedom, anything like that. So if you are struggling to loosen your painting, then it does take some practice. It's sort of a mindset. It certainly took me a long time before I got to this stage where I can simplify things, not to take too much time over painting. Let me know what you think. If you do like to see more of a tight painting, more realistic, almost picture perfect, or if you like the loose sort of flowing watercolour paintings, just drop a comment, let me know what you think. Perhaps you're struggling to keep things simple yourself, or maybe you like to do realistic paintings and take all that time to get things as accurate as possible. Just let me know what you think. I think for me it's almost a sort of, I think the best place to be is almost a bit of both. You can sort of compromise on the realism, get a bit of simpleness in there, but yet get some sort of realistic details as well. This scene, you could add buildings into the scene, people, anything like that, whatever you want to put in. And that's where you can make the realistic sort of effect of the scene. But yeah, today this video is just a simple sort of landscape, just some trees and some mostly it's the sky that I wanted to focus on, so that's what I decided to do. Well, there's a few ways you can simplify a painting. You can either limit the colours that you use. I know my last painting that I posted on my channel was a monochrome painting, which was quite interesting for me to do, just using the Payne's grey. I know a few people like that one, so I just wanted to sort of follow that theme but add a couple more colours, and that's why I decided to add the colours that I have done in this one. Although I'm keeping the colours quite muted, quite not as vibrant, not as saturated, but I just wanted to add just a touch of colour. So I'm still simplifying the scene. You can either limit your colours and also not get carried away with all the brushes. I think the whole painting that I'm doing here, using the started with the mop brush, a squirrel mop brush, for the sky and for the bigger areas, just to get the colour down, and then a smaller mop brush. And you can see here I'm using, for the branches and the trees, it's just a liner brush, quite a thin liner brush. It's got a really good point on it, so it's perfect for shrubbery or trees, branches, things like that. So I'm not using too many brushes either. I think near enough every painting there's a certain brushes that I just tend to go for. I wanted to do a hake or a hake brush painting. There's quite a lot of people I see here on YouTube that do a really good job using the hake brushes. So I want to use my hake brush a bit more, get to know it a little bit better. So I think maybe that's something I can post next time. My next video can be with the hake. So let me know what you think. Drop a comment if you want to see me do a painting using the hake brush, or at least starting the painting with a hake brush. That's another way you can keep things simple, nice and loose. You can't really get much detail with a big thick brush like the hake brush. So I'm just painting some sort of horizon on the horizon line, just a few little indication of bits of trees and just a few bits of detail. I'm not doing anything too detailed because it's quite far in the distance. We're just doing suggestion of a few trees, using the same mix of sky colour, just that sort of grey, sort of dull colour. And just touching up here in the sky, while I've got the same colour on the brush. And I think in the middle could be water, a body of water, or land. I don't know. I just looked at as I put the initial wash down, I just looked at the painting and where it was going, and just decided. I just made the decisions as I was doing the painting itself. So I had a few ideas, but just sort of went with the flow, just used that freedom. And that's sometimes something that you can do. It's quite a good thing to do. Just relax and enjoy the painting, the process itself. and I'm not getting bogged down with mixing colours or anything like that. Just keeping things quite basic, quite minimal, and that can sometimes lead to quite an effective, successful painting. So there's not really much else I want to add at this point, but I just thought maybe I can add some bits of foliage on the trees. They do look quite bare, so I'll just dab in some of the leaves, just a few here and there, just a bit of texture. And I'm just using, it's actually a different brush, just a smaller brush, and I'm just dabbing, as you can see, just dabbing down, almost a stabbing motion onto the branches, just to give that little bit of foliage going. And you can see I've not really used much water. It's quite just a bit of pigment, almost dry brushing. There's a bit more pigment, a bit more water on the last sort of tree on the left, but I just want just the indication of some foliage. Just want to take a bit off there. So just little bits of detail. Don't want to do too much detail, just want to keep it nice and simple for you. You can see just spots of leaves. You can probably hear the cat wanting to come in. She wants to come in. I've just fed them, but she wants to come in, and we don't leave the cats in the living room while we're out. And I've got to sort of pop out shortly to get my son from school, so you can hear her at the door. So I'm just adding little bits of dark now to the foreground. This could be a bit of land sort of before the body of water. So let's just go in and take a closer look, see just some of the details. I in particular do like where the yellow comes through in the sky. Gives that nice warm glow, and it comes down into it's reflected in the water. So it's quite a pleasing, very simple, basic painting. There's not really much else I want to sort of do to this painting. I just wanted to share something really simple. I'll probably just add little bits, bit more thickness to the trees. They look quite thin. Let's just add in, it's almost like a bit of a town, a bit of buildings and structures in the background. So it looks like a bit of trees, a few buildings, maybe could be some sort of it could almost be some sort of a power plant, something like that. It sort of looks like. I didn't really have any thought in mind as I was doing it, just wanted to just add bits of detail. But to me that sort of looks like some sort of industrial site, some sort of power plant or whatever, just in the background. And just wanted to strengthen some of the foreground, just add in some more darker tones. And like I say, I'll just go and add a little bit more to the trees, just to give them a bit more thickness, a bit more darkness, and spotting here and there, just add a few bits of darker tone, and that will soften, because it's still quite damp, the paper, because at the start I did use quite a lot of water, so it'll give it that softer sort of feel, less hard edges. and things will blend nicely in and sort of sit back into the painting itself. Just a few lines here and there, just in the water. And I'm pretty much coming to a close. There's not really much else I wanted to add. Just a few sticks here and there, just a few things coming up from the foreground, because that's what you can see. So we can add detail, more detail in the foreground than in the background. We're just pulling up with the rigger brush or the liner brush and just giving that sort of stick texture here and there, not being careful, just pulling up and giving that sort of grassy twigs and dead branches and that sort of feel to the foreground. Just thickening up now the trees. Just the one on the left, just looks a bit lost. And you can spend a lot of time doing this. It depends on what sort of detail you want in the painting. I think sometimes less is more in watercolour. So sometimes it's what you leave out, it's what you don't do that can be effective. You can leave the viewer's eye to sort of fill in details and just give an overall impression, an overall sort of idea or impression of trees or whatever it may be. You can just do it simply. And it can be effective, it can work. So, well, I hope you like this video. Hope you've learned something from it. Sometimes just doing things simple, not really having an idea, just going freely with the pen, just doing as you feel on the paper and just seeing what you come out with. So I hope you like that video. If you do, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you again in the next video real soon. Take care, thanks for watching, bye bye.